Harry Elmer Barnes, an expert in the field of criminology, reports the first formal prison to be the Papal prison of San Michele in Rome, and built in 1704 under the rule of Pope Clement X. This prison had no prison system, as all crimes fell within the capital punishment status. At this time in Europe, between 250 and 300 crimes fell within the capital punishment status, whereas in America, there were only 14 crimes within capital punishment status. It wasn't until 1790 that America developed the first penal institution in the city of Philadelphia. It wasn't until 1816 that the first prison system was developed, when Auburn Prison was built in New York. Here they ran a system that seemed to work, and it was coined the Auburn system. This system has followed in prisons throughout the centuries, all the way into modern-day prison systems. My name is Alex Roberts, and today I will inform you on how inmates are booked, as well as the typical day of the life of an inmate. When inmates first arrive, they are sent into a processing center. Here, a prison classification specialist will analyze the inmate and give them a profile. Inmates' profiles will include criminal history, social background, educational background, and work history. This is the first of many classifications an inmate will receive while incarcerated. There are 5 custody levels that an inmate can be placed into. Close, medium, minimums 1, 2, and 3. With close being high-risk inmates and minimum 3 being the low-risk inmates. Once assigned to one of these custody levels, inmates can be classified into a control status. These include maximum, death row, intensive, safekeeper, administrative, disciplinary, and protective, with maximum being the highest security and protective being the lowest security. Based on all these, an inmate can finally be assigned to a prison. Prisons have their own classifications. These classifications are closed, medium, and minimum. Closed prisons include maximum security units and have inmates 1 to a cell that are incarcerated 23 hours a day with 1 hour of time a day to exercise or shower. That 1 hour a day does have to be earned and can be taken away based on behavior. In medium prisons, they are still restricted quite a bit, but have a lot more free time outside of their cell, as well as time to shower, exercise, eat, and mingle among each other. This also is tentative based on the behavior that the inmates do express. In minimum security prisons, inmates are allowed out of their cell all day until 11 p.m. at night and not before 4 a.m. in the morning, unless behavior proves otherwise. Here, inmates are allowed to participate in programs within or outside of the prison that will allow them to lessen their sentence. The activities outside the prison are closely monitored, but inmates typically do behave well when they are outside of the prison. Each prison has its own individual day with different kind of operations. This is a typical day in prison as told by Sheriff Brad Rogers. All inmates will be included in head counts at least 6 times daily, with the possibility of more. Head counts will be conducted before breakfast, before bed, and periodically throughout the day as necessary. For breakfast, inmates are woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning, served a cold breakfast, and given a short amount of time to eat before they will head off to the recreation room where they're allowed to exercise, mingle among each other, shower, etc. Also in the recreation room, they will have their visitational hours, if allowed. Visitation is conducted through a screen and a telephone, and only allowed to inmates who have been given the privilege. Lunch is served at 11:30 and is eaten in the living area on steel tables provided. Sometimes there are not enough seats, and only the inmates that are tough enough to get a seat get to sit in one, as others will sit on the floor or lean against the wall. Dinner is at 5 with the same routine as breakfast and lunch, quickly in and quickly out. Inmates spend a lot of time cleaning their cell, as beds must be made to perfection. Debris must be off the floors and the walls may not be marked on. If this is found in an inmate's cell, they will be punished accordingly. Lights out are at 11 o'clock p.m. with strict rules of silence and no activity. If there is activity, there will be punishment due. The next day, the whole process begins at 4 o'clock in the morning, as it will every day until the inmate has served his entire sentence. Dating all the way back to the 1700s, prisons did not have much of a system until the Auburn system was coined by Auburn Prison in 1816. Beginning with assessments, inmates will be assigned to their appropriate prison based on inmates of the same categories. With the amount of different classifications and assessments, inmates can be determined to get into the correct prisons. Although the schedules are not desirable, it is prison, and prison is not designed to be a desirable place. As much as we all like to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and not go to bed until 11 o'clock at night with strict silence, no phones, hardly any windows, if any, and being locked up for as much as 23 hours per day without seeing the sunlight, I do not believe prison is a desirable place for any of us. Thank you.